Without using compost, every other fertilizer is in vain. Even these chemical fertilizers come just to add to the importance of compost. The first challenge a farmer meets is obtaining the compost, because at least with other chemical fertilizers, we get the government help. Compost is really rich and it stays in the soil for a long time. Compost is one of the necessary things we need in agriculture. Just like in any other district, in Huye district, we use compost in agriculture. It is one of the additives used to increase the quantity of the harvest and to modify soil structure so that it can accommodate the crops better. In Rwanda, using compost is one of the methods used to increase the quantity of harvest and to conserve the environment. In the program regarding sustainability of our development, NST2, National Strategy for Transformation 2, agriculture is one of the pillars in the development of our country through multiplying harvest from agriculture, and technique that is going to be used in NST2 is using compost. Compost is mainly made of grass, animal excrements, and other remnants that originate from living things. And it helps in raising soil's immunity for a long period of time. The government of Rwanda is in partnership with different shareholders, including Hingaunguke, has put in place a program to coach farmers on how to use compost through volunteerism and trainings. Farmers are encouraged to gather animals' excrements and grass from the plants and keep it well for some months to make a good compost. This program decreases the chemical fertilizers used, hence the cost. It conserves the soil and water bodies and moreover increases the quantity of the harvest. Even though there are still challenges in to achieve the goal of everyone using compost, like not having enough skills to prepare it and not having the correct equipment to use, the Rwandan government and its partners are prioritizing the preparation of compost. When the primary goal of using compost in all districts is achieved, it will help us reach sustainable agriculture and raising Rwandan standards of living.
My name is Manishimwe Marie-Therese. I work for Hingawunguke and I'm a representative in 4 districts, Burera, Gakenke, Nyabihu, and Ngororero. Hingawunguke, in partnership with Minagri, invites all farmers who use compost, those who prepare it, and the government officials mainly from the northern province together here and discuss how we should use compost to address issues of fertilizer scarcity naturally. Fertilizer scarcity is one of the biggest problems farmers face nowadays. Compost helps us increase harvest quantities while conserving soil and water bodies.
mu kuzamura umusaruro mu buryo burambye ndetse no kubungabunga ibidukikije kuko ari ikibazo cyugarije u Rwanda ndetse n'isi muri rusange.
Kizuzo TV gathered information from different places in Rwanda and talked to farmers that use compost. They talked about the advantages of it and the challenges they're still facing while using it. Some of the challenges they talk about are that they are underinformed about it and its advantages, and that they don't have enough skills to prepare it. They barely have enough proper tools to prepare it, and that they don't get surveyors to check its quality before use. Additionally, it is really expensive on the market and is in less supply compared to the demand. Not to forget, the farmers that still have the myth that there is no other fertilizer that can help them produce more harvest like chemical fertilizers. And this program is to sensitize its advantages as they haven't been widely recognized in all parts of the country. Let us hear what farmers who use compost have to say about it.
If we don't use compost, you may even stop farming. All these chemical fertilizers people praise are merely supplement to compost. They can produce good harvest when used without compost. That's why I encourage my fellow farmers to use compost. It's the only fertilizer that can help us achieve the quality and quantity of harvest that can successfully compete in the market.
My name is Terezi Nyirabahizi. I am from Nyarugenge district, Nyamirambo sector. Usually I'm a farmer's advisor, or FFS as they call it in English. The first challenge I think a farmer encounters is the scarcity of compost. At least on other fertilizers, we get government help in obtaining them, but for compost, farmers are on their own, even though we know it's really hard to get. And it is really needed because it is one of the most important weapons to a farmer. So what this taught me is to sensitize compost making to farmers. They have to be gathering all the grass remnants and animal excrements to make a good compost themselves, and that will solve one of the biggest challenges they face.
Ikiriho ntabwo iyi fumbire izongera kuba imbogamizi, ahubwo abahinzi bya bindi twajugunyaga bigiye kutubera igisubizo.
Amazina yanjye nitwa Nzaramba Jean Bosco.
My name is Jean Bosco Zaramba. I'm from Ngoma district, Remela sector. I'm representative of all farmers advisor, and I'm also a farmer. Regarding compost, the government of Rwanda introduced the Girenka Munyarwanda program, where domestic animals are given to citizens, making manure more accessible. However, since moving from our previous home to community houses, we now live far from our land. This distance makes it difficult to transport manure to our field, leaving most of unused at home. Consequently, our harvests suffer in both quantity and quality. With the help of various NGOs, we learned how to make compost near our fields using plant remnants and animal excrement. This proximity has allowed us to produce enough compost for our crops, significantly improving the quality and the quantity of our harvest. Compared to what we produced in 2010, our harvest has doubled. This progress inspires us to double our effort to achieve even greater yields. I also want to start a program called Umurima Shuri, where farmers will be taught to create compost pit near their land using plant remnants. They will also be encouraged to keep at least one domestic animal to provide manure for compost production.
With all the said challenges that farmers are facing, the Rwandan government has put in place programs that facilitate and sensitize the compost making, and those include Girinka Munyarwanda that facilitate farmers in getting manure easily. There is also a program of rearing domestic animals in a contained place, which helps in agriculture and land conservation. More to that, there is also a policy that any vehicle that is carrying organic fertilizer, grass for domestic animals, or any plant remnants or animal excretions to make compost does not pay any taxes. In more other countries that use compost in their farming, numbers show that compost can raise their harvest up to 50% more than the normal level. This helps in reducing economic losses farmers experience while conserving land as well. Challenges are not only faced by farmers, people who prepare compost are also facing challenges like not having proper equipment for its preparation, lack of specified place to keep it, lack of skilled personnel and quality trainings, and lack of quality assurance of the compost before use. Besides that, the demand of the compost on the market is still low, which makes the suppliers make less of it in fear that it won't sell. They also face a problem of not having enough capital needed to make a big quantity of compost as needed. Plus, most of the farmers don't understand yet the importance of compost. They are still stuck with the myth that it can't produce half the harvest they get when they use inorganic fertilizers. And all of this has negative effect on the harvest gotten from different plants all over the country. These are some of the people who make compost we were able to talk to. and they're from different districts of the country.
Nitwa Mukashyaka Theodosi.
My name is Mukashyaka Theodosi. I work for multi-purpose and agriculture-related company headquartered in Kigali, Kicukiro district. Our main focus is producing various fertilizers. One of our biggest challenges is working far from water bodies like wetlands and swamps, as we're prohibited from operating close to them due to REMA regulations. Water is a vital ingredient for compost preparation, and its scarcity makes our work more difficult. Compost is chemically rich and remains effective in the soil for up to 2 planting seasons. It also plays a crucial role in land conservation.
Mbese ifumbire y'imborera ntiyangiza ubutaka.
Our success is the nation's success. If this program goes well, you could hear a good story probably in Nyagatare that they don't use these chemical fertilizers anymore, which would be a step to achieving sustainable agriculture and land conservation and many more other benefits that come with it. What I can tell you is we're smart, and I am confident in our capabilities that if you guide us the right path and show us what to do and advocate for us, we will not let you down.
I'm a farmer who has never used chemical fertilizers since I started farming as a profession. Compared to my fellow farmers who rely on chemical fertilizers, my harvests are much better. I believe that if we could use ordinary compost, it would greatly benefit both our harvest and our health in the long run. My name is Danny, and I represent Cooperative, a company based in Muhanga district. We started this company in 2024 to produce compost as an affordable alternative to chemical fertilizers. Since a significant percentage of Rwanda citizens are farmers and chemical fertilizers are expensive, we aim to provide high-quality compost at a reasonable price. Currently, we're running promotion and awareness campaigns across the country for a better recognition. My name is Celestin Sabiyumba. I'm a farmer and also produce compost mainly from plant remnants. I work with a cooperative called Compost in the Kicukiro district, Masaka sector. Our farming, which focuses on rice, maize, seed germination, takes place in the Rugende swamp. Since we farm on relatively large scale, we decided to make our own compost using plant remnant from our fields. This has significantly reduced our fertilizer cost. I prefer compost because it is nutrient-rich and lasts in the soil for more than one planting season.
We also approached different agriculture representatives from different districts, and they say that they encourage the use of compost for it helps in environment conservation and gives a big quantity of the harvest at the same time. Compost helps the soil to keep its naturality and structure and helps in increment of the harvest in all planting seasons in a year. Agriculture representatives show the way using compost reduces the cost of chemical fertilizers, hence the reduction in losses in an easy way and fast. And with that, they strongly encourage all the farmers to use compost to achieve sustainable agriculture we all dream of.
My name is Sioneze Tones, and I oversee economic plans in Nyanza district. Farmers in our district are encouraged to use compost, but its availability is limited, making it hard for them to obtain sufficient quantities. These challenges affect farmers' productivity despite the effort to prepare the land, invest in the fertilizers, and grow crops. This consequence impacts the entire country's harvest and hinder our goal of eradicating food insecurity. My name is Jean, and I worked for Musanze district in the Farming and Natural Wealth department. Musanze is a leading agricultural district due to its favorable climate and fertile soil. While we achieve good harvest, we always strive for more. For example, we hear about farmers in other regions harvesting 40 tons of sweet potatoes per hectare, whereas we only produce 20 tons. Compost is essential for improving both the quality and the quantity of harvest. Its nutrients improve soil structure, aid water retention, and prevent soil erosion. My name is Nezimana Aphrodis. I work in Nyamasheke district where I oversee the environment department. In our district, we make compost in 3 ways. First, every farmer has 2 waste pits, one for biodegradable waste and another for non-biodegradable waste. Second, cooperatives collect plant remnants after harvest to produce compost. Third, manure is collected from domestic animals. Compost is crucial because it maintains soil structure and helps the plant absorb organic fertilizers more effectively. My name is Aimable Senyumva, and I manage agriculture in Huye district. Like other districts, we also use compost to enhance harvest quality and quantity while improving soil structure. Compost is used for both domestic and commercial crops, making it essential for achieving sustainable agriculture. My name is Shumbusho Uwimana Jean d'Amour. I oversee economic development in Nyarugenge district, which include farming activities. Nyarugenge has 10 sectors, 7 urban and 3 rural. Mageragere, Kigali, and Kanyinya, where farming takes place. Our farmers are trained to understand that compost is the foundation of good harvest. It must be applied to the soil before adding organic fertilizers. Compost improves soil structure, increases oxygen flow, and enhances rainwater absorption. It also helps the plant better utilize nutrients from organic fertilizers, resulting in higher yields. My name is Harimana Innocent. I oversee the environment department in the Rubavu district. Our district's land is divided into 2 types: volcanic rock, amakoro, and regular soil. Farmers here rarely leave their land fallow, which reduces its productivity. However, using compost in large quantities could address this issue. Compost acts like a sponge, absorbing nutrients and water while protecting the soil from erosion.
The representative of Hinganguke in Rwanda, Daniel Diaz, says that using compost in Rwanda has a really big impact, including the increment in harvest and environment conservation.
What I think about this Hingawunguke activity and what is it focused on? Hingawunguke is an activity financed by the U.S. government, specifically USAID, $28 million over 5 years to improve outcomes for farmers in the agricultural sector through encouraging the transformation of agriculture from subsistence level production to professional and capable market-oriented production. This is in line with NST2 strategy of the Rwandan government and the Minagri strategy of transformation for agriculture, PSTA 5. So we work closely with private sector, ministry, government in order to assist farmers in this transformation to commercially oriented agriculture. Yeah, no, that's a good question. Thank you. The use of compost is environmentally sustainable, much cheaper than chemical fertilizers, and reuses resources at the household or farm level that might be wasted, such as food waste products or animal droppings. And the development of this compost approach throughout Rwanda is an important way to reduce expenses for farmers, improve their profitability, and facilitate their transformation to commercially oriented agriculture in an environmentally sustainable way. And indeed, the availability of compost is limited at the farm level, particularly in areas in the west and north. So we've conducted analysis in partnership with MinAgri and RAB and private sector and agricultural cooperatives to look at ways to increase the availability and the affordability of compost at the farm level. So we have a number of different recommendations that we're delivering to farmer groups about how to increase the availability of compost through improved household collection, through recommendations at municipal level to take advantage of municipal waste or publicly oriented waste. So we're looking at many different options with government and with private sector, and we'll be rolling those out in the next 3 years. Thank you.
Dr. Patrick Kalangwa, the Director of Agricultural Development, says that the use of compost by farmers has many benefits in increasing agricultural productivity.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources encourage farmers to use compost in agriculture because it is very important for sustainably increasing productivity. When you look at the hilly landscape nature of Rwandan soils, our soils in Rwanda are predominantly, our lands in Rwanda are predominantly on hilly, very hilly slopes, and this nature of predominantly hilly landscape is very prone to erosion, and this leads to a loss of soil organic matter, but also loss of nutrients. When you use fertilizers, there is a great part of it which is lost through erosion because of the hilly landscape of the country. So there is a lot of yield potential that is not realized in this country because of lack of soil organic matter and because of because of loss of nutrients through leaching. So we encourage our farmers to use compost, to produce compost, to use compost, in order to mitigate this loss of nutrients through erosion and improve in a way which is more sustainable soil productivity, soil health. Because if you apply the chemical fertilizers in a soil which is poor of soil organic matter, promoting the use of compost must be mostly done at the level of the farmers themselves, rather than at those SMEs that are trying to see a business opportunity in the business of composting. When you look at the nature of this business, it is not rocket science for the farmers to do it themselves, and having some people engaged in the business of soil composting, which is off farm, which is far from the farm. So we are going to put more efforts under this PC5 period to teach the farmers how to do the right composting the right way and bring innovations in composting, including vermicomposting and other innovations that will increase the quality of compost that is being used, but also increase the availability and the faster production.
Compost increases the harvest on a pleasant level regarding to the research that was done on compost made in Huye and Rubavu district. That compost was made of animal excrements, grass, plant remnants, biodegradable waste from market and other different places. Where that compost was used, it increased the harvest from 7,000 tons to 18,000 tons in a year. And the research showed that 97% of the interviewed farmers use compost in their farming, and 86 of them use compost they make themselves. Information from the research show that most of the farmers don't have enough quantity of compost yet, but that would change if more agriculture-related companies, NGOs, and ministries like Hingaunguke, RAB, REMA, RICA, Minagri, Rula, RSB, Minalok, and so on got involved. Using compost in Rwanda has multiple benefits, including increasing the harvest both in quality and quantity, and land conservation. And despite the challenges mentioned, the representatives of agriculture and environment encourage farmers to use compost for sustainable agriculture. They also asked the government to help with the challenges faced by farmers in acquiring compost. Thank you so much for being with us today. This is Kyuzuzo TV, the voice of agriculture and livestock. Kyuzuzo TV, the voice of agriculture and livestock. We ask international institutions and NGOs in agriculture to support our cause, which is to show the role of social media in educating youth and women about sustainable agriculture practices to ensure food security, nutritional health, and green environment. We would love to do our talks about agriculture in different languages, but because we are financially disadvantaged, we only do it in Kinyarwanda instead of in Chinese, Swahili, and English. We only do it in Kinyarwanda. Everyone's support is needed so as to put our efforts together and eradicate poverty and food insecurity. You can reach us on our email mbazewili123@gmail.com. Thank you so much. This is Kyuzuzo TV, the voice of agriculture and livestock.